This is Damon Stevens with FinWealth Live with your end of week update. Today's May 14th, 2021. And just had a question for several people out there is if you bought the dip with this last little pullback. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and see what opportunities are out there in the future. So the Dow Jones was closed up 360 points today at 1.06. The Nasdaq up 304, almost 305 at 232, and S&P 500 up 61.35, 1.49%. So from the pullback we had a nice little rally back. So hopefully you took advantage of that and was able to get some great stocks on sale. Looking at the heat chart, the heat map here, you can see Microsoft was up 2%, Apple around 2%, Google 2%. So the high techs all came back into play. So that's great. Disney, even with its earnings report, it was down. Home Depot's down. A lot of healthcare sector was down. Customer defense stocks were as well. So this was a tech rally here that we had today. You can see here on the scanner here we have mostly MOSY coming in on the top, and HYRE and RENN. And so we'll cover some stocks that we looked at today on trading and ones that we found in the scanner and a few that we didn't use in the scanner. So let's get right into it. Again, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe so you can get these updates as they come out. You'll notice on tonight's video that I changed the front screen. Some people asked about what the car was, and they said, "Hey, what's with the cars?" So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and change it up. So actually, my son helped me come up with a new design. So hopefully you like it. So S&P 500 did jump up another 1.5% today, right, with the big rally. But overall, for the whole week, we did close down just a little bit. In the news, market news, just something to stay aware of. It's great to have rally. We could be heading towards all-time highs. We could get to short of the highs and come down and do a more serious correction. Hard to say where it's going to go. One of the things I keep paying attention to is I keep seeing all these things about inflation, and economic volatility. So just be careful and cautious as you're investing. Make sure you're sizing correctly. Make sure you're not putting all your capital in to some of these stocks because we could have a bigger correction. We don't know that. We could go to all-time highs as well and just keep on a bull market as we have been. But right now there's a lot of uncertainty out there. So just be aware of it and be careful what you're putting at risk. So Bitcoin, I'm going to cover some of these cryptos here right off the get-go here. So Bitcoin, you can see that it closed flat. So this is like the fourth day. So we had a pullback down to these support levels we had in the past. And we continue to sit at that support line just around 50,000. We lose support, we could come down to some of these lower levels like 41, 47 here, 45. We're down here to 200 of 42,000. If we can kind of bounce off of this, then there'll be some resistance here at the 100 at around 51,000, and then again up here around 53,000, and then we can hopefully rally up and climb this breakdown candle. Because stocks like to do that when they get enough energy built up. A lot of times they'll climb up. If they don't make it, they take that energy and they release it to the downside. And you can see this tail here was at 45,700. So we'll just keep an eye on it. This is definitely something I'm monitoring and taking a look at from the investments that I have in crypto. Ethereum closing up towards the top of the breakup candle that we had. So we had a little bit of a rally that came back, just sitting around that 4,000 mark here as we're floating around here trying to find direction. It is above the 5 EMA, so that's great. Everything's upward sloping. And we got bullish movement. So that's great for Ethereum. For Ethereum Classic, you can see that we're flat right now above the 5. But yeah, we've rallied back up almost to the top of this breakdown candle. Once we get past this, there'll be some resistance, and then we should be able to hopefully break up and start to go back towards the new highs. Doge. So Doge had a little bit of a pullback. about almost 50% of its move. Found support where it had before and bounced right off of it, which is good to see. That means there's buyers out there that want to keep driving this up. So you can see the recovery back up here to this resistance line here, and we're just closed underneath that, kind of hovering here about almost 50% retracement of this candle, where we had a full retracement here, and we are above the 5 and all the other moving averages. So that's positive for Doge. All our earnings for this week, a lot of good earnings out there. A lot of weakness in the stocks. I was kind of surprised that not a lot of these stocks had a good run after their announcements, especially if they're good earnings reports. So kind of weak, at least in my mind, for the response that we got off of this week's reports. But overall, the markets seems like it's doing well. It's bounced back off of a pullback. So we'll continue to monitor it. We have a whole new list that'll be coming out this next week. So we'll try to get you that Sunday so you can get prepared for the week. You can see that Q1 reports. So we're at 79% now, 59.49 beat, 418 missed. And so some of the stocks like that we got through the scanner, one is MOSY. You see we had, there was a nice pullback here for several days, and then boom, just a nice spike to try to drive back up to the level we're at. So you can see that obviously down here around 275 that there's a lot of support there to rally them back up. So you can see that we're at about 435 right now. A support line right here is around $4, which you can see back here, back here, back here. So as long as we can hold above that, we can possibly move higher. So next we're looking at 450, and then somewhere around 480, and then hopefully up to here to 516, and then continue on from there. If we break down again, then obviously the 100s down here, there should be some support down here, or the 200s down here about $3. This is intraday chart. So I didn't get on this one. I did not trade this one, but I did monitor it. I just didn't. I just wasn't willing to watch it all day. But you can see you had a big rally. You had a 50% retracement, which is normal to see. A third to 50%, and then you just kind of bounce in this tight range most of the day. And I just didn't want to monitor it. It's just way too much. And then at the end of the day, of course, a nice little rally back up about 50% of this candle, this breakdown candle. So up to this top level here around 5, down to 50% retracement, and then back up 50% retracement. So I hope you see patterns here. Hopefully charting makes more sense to you the more that you look at these, because there are patterns to the way that the stocks move. Airbnb is another one that announced out their earnings, and you can see that it tried to rally back up and closed at 141.20. It's still below all the moving averages, but it is holding support. And you see this is the same support that we had prior back in June and before that. So we are sitting here consolidating here right now, trying to get some momentum and some energy to build back up to move north. If we don't, we could break back down to this 131 level, and then below that's probably around 120. If that breaks down, then we'll have to look at some lower numbers. So we'll monitor this, but hopefully we'll get a big bounce on Airbnb. AMC, you can see that it closed down a little bit. It's right on that 100. So you can see that we pulled back, try to rally back up, and we're above the 5, the 10, and the 20 moving averages, but still below the 50 and the 200s down here. So if we can rally up past this next week above $13, we should start to run back up, to $13.25, $13.50, and then hopefully ramp back up again. If we break down, we could come back down to $12.75, down to $12.50, and then possibly down to $12.40 where the 200 is sitting. Covered Airbnb. So Tesla, as far as this is a 5-minute chart, and this is intraday chart. You can see that I didn't get this one today. Usually I monitor this one, but was doing some other things, and I totally missed an opportunity for a trade here today. But you can see that we broke down and came back up, rallied. So there was an opportunity here to get in and grab some of this momentum here. And then it dropped back down again midday down to 575 and then broke back up again towards the day to 589. So if you caught this, congratulations. I think we're actually sitting at 594 right now. That's good to see that we've, rallied from this low at 559 back up. So that gives me a great idea. And we're above the 200 and all the moving averages too. So that's great. So I'm going to be watching this next week. If the stock market overall, heads north, it should pull this Tesla up with it. VERU was another, this is another small cap here. And you can see that prior it was at 772, pulled back in today, and we rallied back up to 768. So there was an opportunity down here and here to grab some of this. I missed this trade, but this one I'm going to be monitoring just for a few days just to see if it can give us a few more bounces and possibly even break up to new levels to over past stuff 775. So I'll keep it on my list, but just want to make sure you're aware of it in case you're looking for opportunities. DXY, so the dollar, so you can see the dollar closed down, so it retraced back this candle. So you see this breakdown candle, rallied back up, and then we broke back down again, almost that same support level. So obviously that's an important spot around $90. And so we'll see how that sits. As long as we sit down here, the bulls can play. So we'll continue to monitor that. The VIX saw a nice spike up, over a few days, up to almost $28. And then we retraced about half of that. And then today retraced back down the other half. So we're down around 1880 right now, right at this nice support level. Could break down a little bit further down to 16.6, but we could also hover here and consolidate. And you can see there was a consolidation point period here for several days. And so it's possible that we could fall on that. If we do, then stock gives stock a chance to rally some more. So S&P 500 we covered. So the triple Qs, you can see a nice bullish day today. We're close above the 5. We're still under the 10 and the 20 and the 50, but trying to work our way back over this 200 or the 100 here. So we'll see what happens this next week. See if we can keep the momentum going on the Qs. Technology was in play today and did well. So hopefully you were able to catch some of that. Semiconductor space also rallied, obviously, with tech. It just barely made it above the 100. So we'll see. It's not as strong as the Qs, but we'll see if it can pull itself up and move north. DIA, so this is the Dow Jones. You see it pulled back. And after this little pullback here, it retraced back up, and now it's kind of gapping back up and almost closed at the same level here. So we'll see if it rallies back up and possibly to new highs. So Russell 2000, you can see again, it just with the rest of the market just rallied right up here, and it just closed under the 20 EMA. So we'll see if next week it can continue that momentum up, but having good bullish volume, and so that's a good sign. You can see health that actually this is XLF, so this is on the financial sector, and you can see that it almost rallied back up to the top here of this last where it kind of topped out here. And so we'll see if we can make new highs, but right now financial sector is looking nice and strong. Gold, you can see that gold rallied back up after having a little bit of a settle here and found support. Now it's just right on the edge of a breakout. So you can see that we've been in this channel here, tried to break through, failed, and now we're back up and we're right on the top. So if this can break out above here, then we will start to head up north towards 1860, 1880. And hopefully north of that. So gold's looking good. Silver obviously following along, and definitely still in bullish momentum. Broke back above the 5 and also above the 10. So that's good. So we're back above the all the averages now, and so we'll continue to monitor that. Let's look for opportunities there. Talked about Tesla already. So UTHR, you can see that broke above, and we're above all the moving averages today. Not a lot of volume here, not a lot of movement, but still very good profitable stock to trade if you're day trading, or if you're looking at long term, you could possibly, but that's something I'm not doing for this stock. Just a day trade or scalp. AMC looking good still, finding support, may consolidate here for a while. KOSS, so as the cryptos come up, KOSS is one you can follow and take advantage of if you're not don't have any way to play the crypto off your current platform. KOSS is an alternative that you can use, and you can see that it came down, found support, and it's bounced off that support. It's above the 100. It closed above just under the 50, but above the 20 moving averages on an upward slope. So we'll see if it pulls back up. If it does, it should go to 2140. And then above that, it's going to work its way back to 25, then 28. So we'll see if that can keep going. And if so, that's a great opportunity, a cheaper stock here. So you can, if you don't have a large account, that's a perfect stock to be able to manage and to work with. So, again, SPY. One of the things I didn't cover earlier is we did close this gap here on the SPY. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the chart. And we won't need that anymore since we closed that up. When we talked on the video yesterday, we didn't know for sure if it was going to, the S&P 500 was going to come down and fill a gap here lower, or if it was going to rally back up. And so obviously you see it decided today not to come down and fill this gap, but to go up north and fill the northern gap. So that is a good bullish move. It's above all the moving averages. We could start to rally back up towards, we'll have resistance at 418, and then we have 420 and then 422. And see if we can get above 423 and maybe rally up to 425, 426. It could make it that far. It could also bounce back. You can see, that we had a long move up here, a pullback. It could move up and then just move up towards new highs again, as it has in the past. But we could also, come up here short of it, fake everybody out and pull back down here again. So just keep an eye on these levels. Make sure that you have them noted somewhere. That they should find support. If it breaks through there, you just know where the next support level is. But we are above those moving averages. The 20 sitting at 414. If it breaks down here, 406 is where the 50 is, and the 100s here down at 393. So definitely looking, hopefully, for more bullish movements on next week, and more earnings are coming out. Going to continue to monitor the news around inflation, any type of wars that might be happening in other countries, just to make sure that there's not a major impact. The other thing too is COVID still pops up, in other countries as far as issues. So just looking at the overall news, making sure that we're ready to act positively if the market starts to react negatively, that we're ready to trade it in the direction that it wants to go. So hopefully that helps you. Again, subscribe so you can continue getting these videos. And enjoy your weekend, and we look forward to great trading next week. Thank you, everybody.